what is messaging? What is copywriting? I mean, these are the questions that we ask ourselves in the beginning of business, and it's really important to understand what they are. And today I want to differentiate what they mean and kind of give you a baseline of what you need to be thinking about in each stage of your business. Hey guys, I'm Rachael Weaver. I'm your host of the Be You Babe podcast, and I love talking about human design and messaging. But today I want to take it back to basics and basically explain what is the difference between messaging and copywriting, all these different terminologies that we don't always know what they mean when we come into the business world. And so first, let's talk about messaging. Messaging is this backbone in our business. It's the base, this foundation. If we don't have our foundation right in our messaging, it's like I'm building a house of cards, it's going to come crumbling down. So messaging guides our communication and it aligns our words to our customers' needs, right? Good messaging differentiates you. It gives you a client journey, a clear goal for your ideal client. And it ultimately conveys your unique selling proposition to your target audience. That's what messaging does. It's like this overarching theme to your business. Copy, on the other hand, is like the tangible words that your messaging comes into. So when you hear someone say, hey, I'm a copywriter, they're the person that's taking your messaging and who you are and putting it into words on a sales page, a website, or emails, right? Copy is the literal words that you're writing in your business. It could be social media. It could be your emails, your sales page, your website, right? But if you don't know what your message is, a copywriter is not going to know what to write, or what they write is going to be all over the place and probably not exactly what you actually want, right? You have to understand what the backbone of your business is, the message, first and foremost. So why is this so important to understand what your message is when even in those beginning stages, when you're just starting out and figuring out what you want to offer and what you want to do? Why is it so important? Because if you're trying to talk to everyone, you're talking to no one. We've heard that before. And if you're confused about what you're selling and who it's for, your audience is confused too, just hands down. So it's so important to figure out what your message is before going out and and I will tell you, I'm going to break these down into 3 different stages because sometimes there's certain things at the beginning stages you don't have to worry about. You want to keep it really simple because there is a lot of unknowns when you're in the beginning. You don't know exactly what your unique selling point is. You don't know what you want to offer. You have ideas, but you haven't been in the field doing the work to really work it out. And I'm 100% proponent that you have to be in the clay and working the clay in order to figure out what you want to do. Whether you're a line 3 or not, there's a certain element of experience that you need to get under your belt. So if you're just getting started and trying to figure out what your coaching business is, give yourself grace to fumble around, try different things to find what works for you. These stories of someone coming out of the gate in 6 months and making 6 figures are because they had a past experience of growing businesses and marketing, and they had a lot of these pieces already known to them or at least understood. And if you don't have that experience behind you, you've got to figure it out, right? You have to be in the trenches and doing the work. So give yourself some grace, first and foremost. So a lot of times we think that if we're attracting the wrong people, that it's our messaging, right? And it sometimes is. Sometimes it's our mindset. Sometimes it's these different pieces. But if we're not attracting the right people, even if we haven't talked about our offer for very, very often, maybe we've only posted once or twice what our offer is, then we automatically think that the offer doesn't isn't good because no one's bought it yet, right? We think the messaging is off. And I want to say that there is a level of commitment that we have to give to our message for people to, like, I call it like getting on board with it, right? Like, you have to catch up with what you're doing. You have to talk about it for a certain amount of time. It's different for everyone, but you have to talk about it for a certain amount of time for people to go, oh, and they start to understand it, right? It's kind of like they've said that you need like 10 different touches with someone before they will buy from you. And I don't necessarily think that that's true because I've had people only have a couple and they buy. But there is a certain amount of you continuing to talk about it yourself that, number one, gives you confidence in what you have to say. The more you talk about it, the more confident you become. And two, the more that you're talking about it, the more people identify you with solving that problem. And it lodges into their unconscious mind of like, oh, I have that problem, or my friend has that problem. I'm going to recommend her because I know that she solved the problem, right? And so often we give up in the beginning on what our message is because we don't see these fruits happening really quickly, and offer selling out and things like that everyone else talks about, right? But the more that you can commit to that specific message, your backbone of your business, I can guarantee you in 6 months, you will be well on your way to the next stage. So the other thing I want to say with this is messaging is fluid. Messaging grows with you. It changes with you. It up-levels with you. And every 6 months, you should be looking at what the backbone of your message is. What is your unique selling point? What are you offering? Who are you talking to? Your ideal clients, right? If you're not going back and assessing if it's still aligned, if it still feels like it's good, the last 6 months, you're like, I have attracted not the best people, okay, then maybe I need to look at my messaging again and making sure I'm identifying the right client, the right person for this offer. And really looking at those details every 6 months and adjusting. And you'll find that your message grows with you. My message is not the same. It's close-ish than it was a couple of years ago because I've grown, I've learned, I've worked with clients, right? So I want you to keep that in mind, that it is something that grows. It's not finite. It is not something that you finally land on and woohoo, the birds sing and heaven sing and you figured it out and you'll never have to look at it again. No, it's not how messaging works. It is fluid and it grows and it breathes with you. Okay. A lot of times I see newbies trying to find that perfect message that like gets all of it encompassed into one thing. And it's like, there's so much pressure there when you are trying to, especially in the beginning when you don't have clients yet or only had a few clients. It's honestly, you're putting too much pressure on yourself. Just what problem are you solving? Who would benefit from it? Who is willing and able to buy it? And talking to them. That's it. That's all you have to do. So, and actually, since I'm talking about this, let's talk about these different stages and what you need to know for your messaging at each stage. So if you are just starting out, you focus on what is the problem you're solving, who is ready, willing, and able. That means that they are going to solve it. They have the money to solve it. They have the willingness to solve it, right? And then what is unique about your solution? And you don't have to be super specific on this, just kind of what is your unique take on it? You can look to your human design to figure this out. But what is just the unique way that you are going to solve it that's differentiating you from the next coach? All you need to know. That's it. Create an offer, put it out there, keep talking about it, keep talking about the problem you solve, why it's important, keep talking to that person that's ready, willing, and able, right? And the unique way that you're solving it. That's all you have to do. And you'll start to bring in clients, mold the clay, work with people, get a feel for what they like, what they don't like, get your confidence under you, your feet under you, right? And then you get to that next stage where you're kind of inconsistent in clients. Maybe some months are great, some months are not great. Launches are kind of still all over the place. There is still a little bit of volatility, right? Like you have worked with clients, but there's volatility still, right? When you're at this stage of the game, we really need to look at consistency and consistency in what your core message is, what your unique selling point is. So I really recommend anyone at this stage has to brand their unique selling point, their process, their system, whatever, their vision. It's really important to brand it and make it stand out because this is a core of who you are and why people would hire you. And it's going to help you stay consistent in your messaging. We want the message, the copy, consistent throughout the entire customer journey. So you're at this stage creating a customer ladder, which means that you have a lower ticket price, you have a mid tier, and probably a higher ticket kind of thing, right? You're working on building out a signature offer. And when you're building out this ladder and the message throughout the whole thing needs to stay consistent. It needs to come back to that backbone of your message of who you're helping, this overarching problem you're solving, and the unique way you're doing it, your unique selling point. It needs to be thread throughout the whole thing. And then even carried into your social media strategies, your marketing strategies, is the message consistent throughout that, right? Making sure you're not talking to a whole bunch of different people, right? And making it a fluid client journey from start to finish. Okay. That's what's going to help you create consistency within your business, create that consistent cash flow. Launches become a little bit easier. They're more predictable. Like you're starting to think like that CEO of your business. You aren't this newbie anymore. You have work under your belt, you have clients under your belt, and you're thinking of how can I make this business sustainable, not only for my own energy, but also sustainable in the long term, right? Then you get to the next stage where you're scaling. You're taking this consistent, reliable, very um it longevity, right? And you want to create it and scale it to a bigger level, right? To maybe six figures or multiple six figures, right? In this stage of the game, it's really honing in on that unique selling point and branding the hell out of yourself. This is the stage that I'm like starting to dip my toes into and really realizing how much of my brand is not consistent and where I can be even more consistent with it. Not the message is consistent, the visuals are not. And this stage is you are like, I want to say it's like iconic, right? Like someone could see a social media post from you and know it's exactly that it's from you because it's branded to you. There's a essence to it. Your message is 100% congruent and consistent throughout the entire journey, right? Start to finish. Um, that's what you're working on in that last stage. So depending on where you're at, I don't want someone that's in the beginning stages trying to build out this like iconic brand when they haven't really worked with clients. Like there's a disconnect, right? You're not there yet. And that's okay. You have to work with clients, get in the like meat of it and really understand what your people need from you, how you like to work with clients. I think that's the biggest piece too, is like you have to figure out how you want to work, right? What's important to you? How do you like to express yourself and communicate and all of those pieces? Okay. That's really important. So I hope this was helpful in differentiating what messaging is, what copy is, what you need to think about at each stage of the game when it comes to messaging and copy. And I forgot to say with the last stage, you're looking at somebody that can write for you. You're looking for somebody that you can hand off your messaging to and that will write the copy for you, right? That you aren't that person in the business so deep, right? Um, so have a great week, my friends. What do I have coming up? I have a flash sale that'll be coming out next week. Be on the lookout for that in emails as well as social. The club is going to be coming out the end of August. And yeah, that's what we're working on right now. So, end of summer, guys, end of summer. It's wild. Have a great week and we'll talk